Hello children, good morning all of you. Hope everybody are safe at home. Today we are going to discuss about assignment number 36, 9th class 14th dated assignment children. If you come back to this model, it is consisting 1 mark questions, nothing but blanks, and second Roman essay type, nothing but 4 mark question children. You come and join with me. First one of the first Roman, a parallelogram in which one angle is 90 degrees, okay, then it is called, see children, whenever you consider a parallelogram, in a parallelogram generally two acute angles and two obtuse angles we have, and of course opposite angles are equal in parallelogram. So if in parallelogram, if one of the angle is 90, so from the properties of this parallelogram, what happened, as the concept of properties of parallelogram, opposite angles are equal. If it is 90, it is also 90. And another property from parallelogram, adjacent angles are supplementary. So it is 90 means it is also 90. It is also 90. So a parallelogram in which all angles are 90, which is nothing but it is a rectangle. So a parallelogram in which one angle is 90 degrees, then it is called rectangle. Okay children. So our next question, so our next question, question number 2, a rhombus in which one angle is 90 degrees, then it is called a rhombus in which one angle is 90 degrees, then it is called dash. See children, whenever you consider a rhombus, you know that in rhombus all sides are equal, diagonals are not equal, and diagonals are perpendicularly bisect each other. It is 90 degrees. Okay. So in that it is also, as all sides are equal, if one angle is 90 degrees, what happened? All sides are equal, one angle is 90 degrees. Here also rhombus is one of the parallelogram. So adjacent angles are supplementary, 90 plus 90. From this we can say it is a square. So a rhombus in which one angle is 90 degrees, then it is called square. Okay children. So third one, in a kite, longer diagonal dash the shorter diagonal. In a kite, the longer diagonal dash the shorter diagonal. Okay sir. Just you see now children, kite, first of all a quadrilateral in which both the adjacent sides are equal. A quadrilateral in which both the adjacent sides are equal, then it is called a kite, then it is called a kite. Here, this is the shorter diagonal. It is a line segment joining between non-consecutive sides. Vertices of the kite is nothing but diagonal of the kite. So, this is shorter diagonal. This is longer diagonal. So, you see now, longer diagonal divides the shorter diagonal into two equal parts. That's what. In a kite, the longer diagonal, okay, see, dividing into two equal parts, technically we are calling it as bisecting. So, longer diagonal bisects the shorter diagonal. Okay, children? In a kite, the longer diagonal bisects the shorter diagonal. Bisecting. Bisecting means dividing into two equal parts. Okay. So, our fourth one, a trapezium in which non-parallel sides are equal, then it is called dash. Okay, children? A trapezium in which non-parallel sides are equal. For example, let us say it is a simple closure figure bounded by four line segment in which, so it is a quadrilateral. So a quadrilateral in which one pair of opposite sides are parallel, so it is a trapezium. In trapezium, this is shorter, this is longer. Of course, these two are called non-parallel sides. In this case, from this diagram, we cannot say non-parallel sides are equal. But if so, what did you comment? Here, these two are parallel, so it is a trapezium. Now, non-parallel sides are equal, so it is called isosceles trapezium. As two sides are equal, it is called isosceles trapezium. Okay, this is our fourth one, children. So let us come back to second Roman. Solve the following. Show that a diagonal of a parallelogram divides it into two congruent triangles. This is question number 5. Show that diagonal of a parallelogram this is the symbol to represent a parallelogram, children. Diagonal of a parallelogram divides it into okay, two congruent triangles. Two congruent triangles. See, children, what is the given information here? They given one parallelogram. So let us name it as ABCD. Okay, ABCD is a parallelogram. Then AC is a diagonal. Okay, then diagonal divide the total parallelogram into two triangles. Please let us name it for the namesake under the number 1 and 2 as ABC and ACD are two triangles due to the diagonal AC. Okay, we need to show that the two triangles becomes congruent. Okay, what we need to prove here, children? That triangle ABC is congruent to triangle ACD. That's what we need to prove now. So now, before you conclude any two triangles are congruent, we need not to measure all the components of a triangles. Out of all, according to congruency of triangles axioms, okay, we can compare. So compare triangle ABC and triangle ACD. Triangle ABC and triangle ACD. In triangle ABC, side AB, and in triangles ACD, side CD, both are same. In ABC, AB, in ACD, CD, both are same. Why? These two are opposite sides in parallelogram. In parallelogram ABCD. Okay. Now, AC equal to AC. AC is equal to AC. AC is considered as a common side for both the triangles. This is the reason. Common side. Okay, children. Now, in ABC, side BC. In ACD, side AD. BC is equal to AD. These two are also opposite sides in parallelogram. Okay, children. So all are sides. So by side axiom, we can say that these two triangles are congruent. These two triangles are congruent, ABC and ACD. So from this we can say diagonal of a parallelogram divides the parallelogram, divides it into two congruent triangles. Yes, those two are congruent. Okay, children. So this is the explanation for question number 5. Now the next question, question number 6. Show that in a parallelogram opposite sides are equal. We are trying to prove the properties of parallelogram. Show that in a parallelogram opposite sides are equal. So here what we need to consider, here given is A, B, C, D is a parallelogram. This is the given information. So let us consider one parallelogram and name it as A, B, C, D. Okay. Now what we need to prove, children? Opposite sides are equal. Opposite sides are equal. So here we have two pairs of opposite sides are there. They are AB and CD. So we need to prove AB and CD both are same, and BC AD both are same. We need to prove these two. This is the required thing to prove. Now construction. Sometimes the given information is not sufficient to prove, then we are taking some additional part under the name of construction. Just join A to C. Join A to C. Now proof. Children, already we proved, okay, by side axiom these two are congruent. Let us compare one more time. Compare triangle ABC, triangle ACD. As we are going to approach opposite sides are equal, so that pairs are not considered here when we are comparing these two triangles. Okay, but we know that in parallelogram opposite sides are parallel, so we are going to use that one. So from this, when AB is parallel to CD, AC is considered as transversal line. AC is considered as transversal line. So at that case, this angle and this angle becomes equal. Let us say this is alpha, this is alpha, due to alternate interior angles. So angle CAB is equal to angle ACD. This is because of alternate AB parallel to CD and AC is a transversal line. Then alternate interior angles are equal. Similarly, AD parallel to BC. Of course, AC is equal to AC. It is a common side. Side AC is common in both triangles. Now the third one is, see here. If it is beta, then this angle is also beta. That means keep C in middle. Angle ACB is equal to, here keep A in middle, CAD is equal to beta, since AD parallel to BC, because we know in parallelogram opposite sides are parallel and AC is transversal line, then due to alternate interior angles both are same. So angle side angle by angle side angle axiom, you can say that triangle ABC is congruent to triangle ACD. Triangle ABC is congruent to triangle ACD. Okay, children. So when two triangles are congruent, we can say that by CPCT, corresponding parts in congruent triangles, we can say opposite to alpha BC, here opposite to alpha AD, similarly opposite to beta, here AB, and here CD. See now, BC is equal to AD, AB is equal to CD, which is nothing but opposite sides are equal. So by using the congruency of triangles, we are able to prove the property of a parallelogram, which is nothing but opposite sides in a parallelogram is equal. Okay, so by angle side angle axiom, after we proved due to the diagonal of a parallelogram, the parallelogram divides it into two congruent triangles, then by corresponding parts in congruent triangles, we can say that opposite sides are equal. This is our question number 6, children. Our next question, question number 7. If each pair of opposite sides of a quadrilateral are equal, if each pair of opposite sides of a quadrilateral are equal, then show that the quadrilateral is a parallelogram. Then show that quadrilateral is a parallelogram. This is the symbolic representation for parallelogram, children. See, let us consider one quadrilateral where the quadrilateral must satisfy the opposite sides of a quadrilateral becomes equal with respect to length, children. Okay. So A, B, C, D. So what is given here? Here in quadrilateral A, B, C, D, what is the given information? Each pair of opposite sides of a quadrilateral are equal. That means AB is equal to CD and BC is equal to AD. Both the pairs of opposite sides are equal in any quadrilateral. Now what we need to prove? To prove ABCD is a parallelogram. Okay. Now again let us take some construction. Join A to C. Okay. Now children, due to the diagonal AC, the entire quadrilateral becomes divided into two triangles. Let us name it ABC and ACD. Okay. Compare these two triangles. Triangle ABC and triangle ACD. See, it is already given AB is equal to CD, AB is equal to CD and BC is equal to AD. Okay, this is given and AC is equal to AC, common side. So by side axiom, you can say that triangle ABC is congruent to triangle ACD. Okay, children. Now by CPCT, we can say that our observations, as the three components are sides, the other three components are angles. So let us compare the three pairs of corresponding angles. That means this is one of the angle because side BC and side AD are equal. So the angles opposite to the equal angles are equal sides, equal angles. Okay. So opposite to BC, this angle, and opposite to AD, this angle are equal. That means angle BAC is equal to angle ACD is equal to alpha. Okay, children? Angle BAC is equal to angle ACD is equal to alpha. By CPCT we got it actually, but if you see this pair of angles BAC and ACD are one of the pair of alternate interior angles when AC is considered as transversal, where the AB and CD is a pair of opposite lines. So here, because of alternate interior angles, made by the transversal line AC and the pair of opposite sides AB and CD. Okay, children? So as alternate interior angles are equal, we can say that the pair of opposite angles sides are parallel. Therefore AB is parallel to CD. Already given that AB is equal to CD. Okay, AB is equal to CD. Say this is second identity, this is first identity. So from these two identities, from 1 and 2, what is 1 and 2? AB is equal to CD and AB parallel to CD. So to accept the given quadrilateral is a parallelogram, we have two properties are there, children. First property is, if two pairs of lines are intersecting, two pairs of parallel lines are intersecting, then the quadrilateral formed at the intersecting points is nothing but it is a parallelogram. It is a parallelogram. Similarly, the second condition, one equivalent parallel, say this is 5 centimeters, this is 5 centimeters and it is parallel. That means say AB, CD. AB is equal to CD with respect to length and AB is parallel to CD. So if one pair of opposite sides, one pair of parallel and equal sides, if you join at their end points, again it forms a parallelogram. So from one of this condition, one of this property, we can say that ABCD is a parallelogram. Okay, children? So hence the required thing is proved. So actually what they given actually one quadrilateral, and one of the another information given, both the opposite pairs are equal with respect to length. So if both the pairs of opposite sides are equal, okay, we proved here, then it is a parallelogram. Okay, children? So our next question, question number 8. Question number 8. Write 5 properties of a rhombus. Write 5 properties of a rhombus. let us take one rough diagram for rhombus. So here the properties number 1 is opposite sides equal. Opposite sides are opposite angles. Opposite angles are equal. That means angle A is equal to angle C and angle B is equal to angle D. Angle B is equal to angle D. If you see the diagram, out of these two pairs, one pair is acute angles and another pair is obtuse angles. And second one, all sides are equal. All sides are equal. That means AB is equal to BC is equal to CD is equal to, and the third one is diagonals are not equal. Diagonals not equal, and perpendicularly bisect each. All sides are equal means all the sides are equal. Perpendicularly bisect each other. That means both are intersecting at O. That means OA is equal to OC and OD is equal to OB, and angle at O is 90 degrees. Not only that, diagonals divides it into 4 congruent triangles. 4 congruent triangles. See, due to both the diagonals, the entire rhombus is divided into 4 triangles. 1, 2, 3, 4. All the 4 are congruent to each other. Okay, children. Now, one diagonal bisect the vertical angle. Bisect the vertical angle. That means as it is obtuse, if it is 100 degrees, so this is 50-50. This AC divide the vertical angle into 2 equal parts, which is nothing but bisecting. Okay. These are 5 properties. Still, all the properties of parallelogram also we can apply, as it is one of the parallelogram. We can apply for the rhombus also, children. So that's all for today's assignment. Have a nice day and keep working. Thank you.